Good gardening morning. Here we have oregano, and the oregano is getting ready to bloom. Blooming oregano is supposed to be very good. There's our sage, there's our rosemary, and back here we have our sweet potato plants. Of course, we still have our sunflowers that are blooming, and our rosemary, and marigolds. Our last sunflower is almost done. Now on this side of the mailbox, we have some marigolds not blooming, but they're going to bloom shortly. And we have, amongst the grass, peanuts. Yes, our peanuts are up and growing, although they do need some getting rid of the grass. I plan to do some other planting along the other side of the hose here, but those are all lovely peanuts there. So our peanuts did come up. It is a bit spotty in places. Here's our figs. Here's the bee feed seed. And there are some flowers on the bee feed seed. You can see one here that's a lovely shade of pink. Of course, we have our little white flowers blooming amongst it. And here, let's see, that is our grapevine. And here is a yellow flower. There is one of our blackberries. The berries are turning red right now. Over here we have our Persian lime. And Frosty the lemon tree is right here, and you can see the lemons are getting almost marble size, a good size marble there. Here is Satsu the satsuma. And it looks like most of the satsumas, except for one or two, have fallen off. Here is one of the satsumas that's on the tree yet. Now, I'm not too upset about this because if it had kept all the satsumas it originally had, this poor little tree would be just limbs on the ground, trunk on the ground. It would have been too much. So I'm hoping for one satsuma or two. Here are the beans and peas, and as you can see, we have green beans here, and these little plants are loaded. And here are the cream peas. They haven't flowered yet, but all of those green beans on the back side of the row there are going to have to be picked. And there's a lot of them. Over here, you can see our okra. Of course, this needs some weeding. But there's our little okra. I'm going to plant the rest of this row with more okra. Here are our tomatoes. These are Bella Rosa and Amish paste. As you can see, some are ready to be picked. We have a few cherry tomatoes left. I did pick them heavily last week. Seeds need to be gathered. Now I do want to show you a couple of things here. All of this water that we've had has really taken a toll, especially on our cauliflower. Here was a nice yellow cauliflower that's black, and here's the other one that was a nice cauliflower that's now black. Of course, we still have our cabbage. These are supposed to be purple cherry tomatoes, and one's getting ready to turn. There's some red cherry tomatoes. There are a few potatoes that I found when I started transplanting my corn. Yes, I transplanted my corn, and if my father knew, he would probably roll over in his grave. But I did transplant this corn. This is a sweet corn, and I am going to follow up over the next week and plant the remaining portion of this bed in dent corn, most likely Hopi blue corn. Now, over here we have our tomatillos, and one of them started to turn purple, and I want to show it to you. So let's go find that turning purple tomatillo. Ah, yes, there it is. There it is. Let's pull this. Let's see what it looks like. Aha! I can let this sit out and it's going to turn purple. But isn't that lovely? A purple tomatillo. Now, if we move along and look at more beans that I have planted, these are going to be pole beans. Let's see, one more look at the tomatillos. Yes, now pole beans. That's all pole beans. Now, if you look, I have tons of beans to pick here too. So these beans are going to go the way of the carrots. And the way of the carrots is, yes, pressure canned carrots. Yay. This productivity is probably due to this right here. Yes. And here is our pumpkin patch. And the pumpkin patch, this is a blue bio pumpkin. And as you can see, this is a male flower. But lots of other flowers there that are going to start happening. We also have our Cherokee Tan, which is the variegated leaf, and you can see that they are coming out and vining out. That's great. Now some things I'm getting ready to harvest. Here's a cauliflower. That's what it's supposed to look like. I'm going to harvest that this evening. I've got lots of cucumbers and zucchini and squash. So I'm probably going to plant another plant of these soon, because by the time the other one comes up, these will be finished producing. But they're doing wonderfully well. I'm going to be harvesting cucumbers within another week or two. This kale plant I'm going to take out and dry it. These are my seed garlic. More kale. I'm going to have a lot of kale to dry, and even though I trimmed these and took the seeds off, well, they're still doing that. Here's a new bed I'm making. Yes, a new flower/garden bed in the back. Here are my gladiolas, just to prove that everything is not a vegetable. There's our Carolina jasmine, our blueberries, this is our star jasmine, and our raspberries. Check this out. I've been eating some raspberries over the last week or so. This is just so good. Have a wonderful week full of bountiful blossoms and blessings.